Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Cinco de Mayo version of the All Call. Hope you all are out having fun celebrating. We have been in meetings all day, and we are excited to update you on them. We're going to give it just a couple more minutes for everyone to join in. If you could do us a favor and change your display name to your full name and base, it would be greatly appreciated. Otherwise, we're gonna give it just a few more minutes while people log in.
Autumn, can you verify you can hear Andrew okay? We're sharing a computer. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Probably better than when I'm on my AirPods. Apparently those were broken and no one can ever hear me. For the all call, in case you missed it, we are going to give it until 4:02 to let everyone join in, and then we'll get started. We apologize for the silence in the meantime, but once everyone's on, we'll get started. Again, we're going to give it till 4:02 to allow people time to get in. While we're waiting, if you could do us a favor, change your display name to your full name and base. It would be greatly appreciated. I think I just caught your headache.
You want to some Tylenol?
I caught your headache. So, oh. All right, folks, thanks so much for joining us today. On this Cinco de Mayo, we have been in meetings all day, and we are excited to update you on those meetings. We hope you're having a great time out celebrating today. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join us. We have been traveling. We were in person today, so we are all running to make flights. So on today, we have a hard stop at 5 p.m. So if all the questions aren't wrapped up, unfortunately, we do have a hard out at 5 p.m. today, so this will only last an hour. But thank you for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. Autumn, if you'll advance us, please. On today's all call, we're going to talk about the mutual respect policy. We have an update from our communications chair. We'll do a management meeting update and then a Q&A. Our mutual respect policy, the Association of Flight Attendants CWA is opposed to any discrimination based on age, color, disability, gender identity, or gender expression. Unacceptable behavior includes unwelcome physical, verbal, or nonverbal conduct, including the use of electronic communications, and any behavior that ridicules, intimidates, or is physically abusive or disruptive. What we ask of you is to treat everyone, including all AFA CWA members, leaders, and activists, as well as staff members and meeting guests, with respect and dignity. Today on the call, you have your MEC officers, which are myself, Jen Sala, your MEC president, myself, Andrew Henderson, the MEC vice president, and Autumn Cohen, the MEC secretary treasurer. I believe most of the MEC is on with us today. That includes Kathleen O'Brien, Council 71, Uware, Council 79, Ron Bowman, Council 81, Wilmer Wynn, Council 84, Michael Rice, Council 85, Brianna Whalen, Council 86, and Ethan Clark, Council 87. All right, Toy, it's your turn. We have a communications update from our communications chair.
You're muted, Toy. There you go.
Hi, everyone. Hi, can everyone hear me?
Yep, we hear you.
And yes.
Just a quick update, website updates / overhaul, for the quarter are starting, will have started today. So if you go on the website and there's a page not working, just give it like 15 minutes and try again. It means that one of us is updating. If you have trouble with it longer than 15 minutes, it means we're doing a larger update. So email your locals. Oops, sorry. Email your locals or email communications MEC@afafrontier.org. We have the new AI bot, Mama J, coming out. Well, she's out. She's been out for a week. It's really exciting. Just a reminder that that is just a tool that we use. She is not a real person, so her answers might not always be correct. And if you do see that the answer is not correct, please report it. There's a button that you can click that says if it helped you or not. What
And let
else?
me
There
just
was
say really quick, Toy, that our Mama J, when we say she's not correct, we've run tests on her with as many questions as we could possibly come up with, and she has been correct in her answers, or else we wouldn't be releasing her. We know that it being an AI bot, that there may be some things that she's still learning. And as she's learning, we're trying to correct that, but we do want to say that we have run extensive tests on her and she is coming up with the correct answers. And so we encourage you to use her. But if you have any questions that you think it needs a little bit more information or that you're not getting the answer you need, please reach out to us as always. Sorry, Toy, go ahead.
No, you're fine. That's great. Also, because we are doing website updates, if you have any pictures of yourself, your crews, your friends, in uniform, out of uniform with your AFA swag or AFA pin showing, your lanyard showing, please, please, please send them in to us. We need all the content that we can get. We want to showcase our lovely membership. But yeah, that's it. Just website updates. Email us if you need us. Happy Mental Health Awareness Month. Yay.
All
Bye,
right.
guys.
Thanks,
Thank
Toy.
you, Toy. All right, next is our management meeting update.
All right, that's me. Let's start out with the, we got a must read, oh gosh, a little while ago now, probably 6 to 8 weeks ago. Telling us to not look over the shoulder of the gate agents, to look at the seat maps, that the gate agents didn't have to show us the seat maps. We explained to the company in quite a bit of detail today how inconvenient that is for us as flight attendants. Knowing where we have open seats, knowing if there's children or handicapped folks that are getting on the aircraft, infants, that seat map tells us a lot. They said they are working on getting that seat map put onto our flight tabs. Though we're a couple months out at least for that to happen. And they are going to look at some other ways for us to get that information. I just feel like the whole must read was very divisive. We already have a lot of animosity between the gate agents and the flight attendants, and I think that just builds more animosity. We end up sending passengers back up to the gate for no reason. If we had the information, we'd be able to help them on board, and they're not giving us that information. So we made that abundantly clear in our meeting today, and hopefully we're going to see some results from that. Like I said, they are going to try to put on the fly tab, but that would probably be a couple months out. So they're looking at some other options as well. We had a couple of threads on Facebook about wearing a USA pin. And the company has absolutely no problem with you guys wearing a USA pin. And so in the next revision, you'll see that in the uniform guide. But as of right now, you are more than welcome to wear those USA pins if that's what you want to wear. And it will be a part of your 4 pins max. Let me see, rumors. We had this rumor going around that we had base closures coming. Well, let me make that really clear. That is absolutely not correct. The company has no current thing about closing any bases. There's nothing going on. I think Phoenix was a big rumor there, and I think CVG's was the other one, Cincinnati. So no, that is a false rumor if you hear it. They are not closing any bases currently. They are not looking into closing any bases. So please, please no more sounding that alarm. They're not closing anything right now, or hopefully ever. Want to go over the emergency supervisor number. We get this a lot, that you guys tried to reach out to the supervisors using the emergency number, and that either you didn't get a hold of anybody, or that the supervisor who was on duty was unable to help you. Both of those things are not acceptable. But we need a little bit of data on this. So if you've reached out to the supervisors using the emergency number and nobody answered, please document that and send it to us. You can file it in a ticket. You can email it to your local officers. However you want to get that information to us. It's unacceptable that we have an emergency supervisor line that does not get answered. The other side of that is if they answer it, and instead of helping you with the problem, they send you to another department. The in-flight supervisor should be able to handle any problem that you guys have. And if they're not handling it, we need to know that too. So please get a little, help us get some documentation. We need to know if they're not answering, and if they've answered, if they're not helpful. If you guys could get that information to us, we really appreciate it. Once again, either through the ticketing system, you can file a ticket, or just email your local officers at your base code at afafrontier.org. All right. We know that there has been a huge uptick in baggage coming on board the aircraft, which has led to us checking, gate checking a ton of bags. Not okay, not okay. But there's a lot of confusion about, what you guys should be doing and how we should be doing it. The company is going to get that information out to you. We've asked that in these situations, how do you want it handled? We're not comfortable as flight attendants with having the whole egress of the airplane blocked by bags, and we made that clear. We are asking the company to start checking the bags prior to those passengers getting on. That, as other airlines do, they start telling you if you're in this zone, you need to come check your bags. There's not going to be enough room. The problem with ours, of course, is that everyone who has a checked bag, or sorry, a carry-on bag, is zone 1 passenger. So it's not like we can say, hey, zone 4, if you're in zone 4, you need to come check your bag, because everyone who brings a bag on is in zone 1. So what they're doing, or what they have in place, is there's a system that lets the gate agents know how many bags are being carried on prior to them starting the boarding process. So what they're looking at doing is getting that information across to all of the gate agents, so that there's a consistency. They all have the numbers of how many carry-on bags there's going to be. And then what they're going to do is start checking bags, starting pulling bags as people are coming on. That's the hope, that's the dream. And we're hoping that it's going to work. That information right now is only in certain stations, so they have to get it out to all the stations. And then they have to teach the gate agents how to implement it. So we know it's an issue. We brought it up. It looks like there's some ways we can fix it, but it might take just a little bit of time. And I know that sucks for all of you guys that are checking bags at the door. It's not fun, and it's not the best way to do business either. So like I said, there is some light here, because we do have some ways we can start utilizing it. The big one is just knowing how many bags people are bringing on. So hopefully that's going to help us. Lastly, or second to last, I should say, the canceling of the ID-90 listings. We talked about this on the last all call, how it says if you list and you don't make the flight, or you can't make it to the flight, something happens, you decide to go on a different airline, that we're supposed to cancel that listing. You are able to cancel the listing, obviously, on my ID travel without a problem. You are not able to do it on ID-90. So the company's working with ID-90 to figure this out. They want those listings canceled if you're not going to utilize them, but there's no way for us to do it except to email the Pass Bureau. So once again, if you do my ID travel, absolutely cancel it. If you are doing the ID-90 listings, we're looking for a way that ID-90 will, the ID-90 will allow us to do that in the future. Currently, the only way to cancel a listing is through the pass office if you're on the ID-90. We have had a huge uptick in robocall issues. And it's been interesting that people, the way we think of a robocall versus a text message versus self-notification. And to explain that further, I'm going to turn this over to Andrew because he's got a better way of explaining this than I do. So let's talk about some robocalls and how to handle them.
Okay, so a robocall is considered a call placed by the company. So think of it like the crew scheduler placing a call and leaving a voicemail for you, right? The robocall is considered a call placed by the company. So once that robocall comes through, all of our contractual provisions apply. You have 15 minutes to return the message if left.
If you're on reserve.
If you're on reserve.
I know it's a hard, long day.
Right. Sorry, Brandon, I literally just lost all my words. No, I don't know what more to explain. It's considered a call placed by I know it's a robot that's doing it, but it's no different than if a human scheduler picked up the phone and called you. All of our contractual provisions still apply to that call, right? And I think where people get confused, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think that it's whether or not it's a form of notification or not. If it's considered positive contact, and if you respond to the robocall with a yes or a no, or you follow the prompts with a yes or a no, then it would be considered positive contact. If you reply to the text message, it is considered positive contact. If you go on the app or you utilize the Crew web version to utilize the self-notification tool, then that is considered positive contact. But the actual phone call, it doesn't matter who's placing it, whether it's a human or a robot, it is considered a call placed by the company, and all of our contractual provisions apply. So if you don't answer that call and you get a voicemail, you are still required to call them back.
And if you want to self-notify after you've gotten a text or a robocall, you can do that and not have to call them back if you self-notify. But just like if a real person in crew scheduling called you and said, here's your assignment, you could go in and self-notify, or you can call them back. The same thing applies with the robocall, except there's other prompts that could end that call for you right there with a positive contact. If you hang up on it, you're still responsible for what it said. So you either need to call crew scheduling back or you need to self-notify. So those are all things that we've run across where people are just not clear what a robocall is. No, you didn't opt into it. It's part of our contract. We wanted to automate as much as we could in crew scheduling so that we didn't have all of the issues that we have, for example, with open time and trades. And so automation was a huge thing in our last contract. We wanted to automate as much as possible. The robocall system came out probably just 6 months ago. And it's been really confusing for people. It is not something you have to opt into. It is something that they are going to utilize if they can when adjusting your schedule. And so all the rules that you would have with a normal crew scheduler calling you are the same rules you have with a robocall calling you.
Along with the robocall, it's not always going to come from the same number like scheduling is. So you may get more unknown numbers this way. But we can't pin down an exact phone number for you to save into your system so that you know that they're calling.
So if there's a message on your phone, please listen to it. Make sure it's, if it's a robocall, do what you need to do with that call. Is that it on that?
That's all I got.
Okay. All right. Then we're going to move on to a little Q&A.
Our next all call is scheduled for June 2nd, at 6 p.m. Eastern time. We're about to open the floor to questions and answers. As a friendly reminder, this call is being recorded and will be published. So if you have negotiations related questions, we won't answer them here. But all of the email addresses on your screen are a great place to send those questions. And they'll be able to help get you answers if it's negotiation related. Again, we have a hard out at 5 o'clock, so we will start answering questions. The chat box has been turned off, so if you'd like to ask a question, we want you to raise your hand and chat with us. If you can't raise your hand, if there's a lull and there's not any hands raised, just unmute yourself and identify yourself. But okay, Keegan.
Hey, this is Keegan from ATL. I was just wondering if you guys could work on getting a number for the robocall for us. I
We
do have,
actually asked that today.
okay.
So the problem is, it sounds like 80 to 90% of the robocalls do come from the same number. But what our fear is if we give you that one number and you guys put that one number into your phone as this isn't a spam, this is my crew scheduling call, that the other 20% that could come from other random numbers will get missed by you. And they don't know the extent of how many other numbers there are. They know that our system utilizes one of them first and it uses it most of the time, but the other ones are still a possibility. So they didn't release that number because, like I said, they're afraid that if you guys put that this one number is the robocall number, then you'll exclude the rest of them and you'll miss some calls. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes
I
sense.
know.
I just,
I don't like it
personally,
either.
I have the most annoying ringtone that you'll ever hear. So I always know if it's crew scheduling or the robocall. And I
Yeah.
don't want to, I've, been reading so many horror stories of people
Yes.
not calling back the robocalls and
Yes.
getting unable to contact. So yeah,
Which-
hopefully the company could provide us numbers because, I have the number for the robocall that usually calls, but that kind of just puts me on edge
Yeah,
about missing a call.
and honestly, that's what I would tell everybody who wants to have the numbers is just start saving the robocall numbers as you're getting them. They are going to utilize the same numbers over and over. We just don't know how many of those numbers there are out there. Like I said, they know that about 80% come from about the same phone number. So if you have one that they're utilizing a lot, you'll see that often. But they don't have a full list from the system. The system is a huge system and it doesn't give us a list of numbers that it utilizes.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
All right about that.
Thanks, Keegan. Kendra.
Hello, hi. How's everyone doing? I hope you are all
Good.
well.
How are you?
I'm not a reserve, as you know, but I did fly with one recently, and she said that, like I said, this is a secondhand thing. I don't know for sure, but I do know that when I've gotten the robocalls, blah, 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 your pairing has changed, and then it says reply yes, you can't, there's a specific thing you have to put in there and it tells you exactly what you're supposed to reply with. Like you can't just reply yes. It will say yes, and then the pairing number and the date or something weird like that. So I just want to let everyone know that that might be an issue. Like if your pairing is changed or they're adding something to your schedule, there's a specific thing at the bottom of the text that says reply with yes, and then something else like your pairing number or date or the pairing number and the date or something like that. So just keep that in mind because that might save you as well. Just make sure you read the text thoroughly. And also,
If you're
this was
replying to the text, yes. If you go into what's the name of
Self
it?
notify.
ELP. If you go into ELP, you can just push yes.
Okay. Did you hear that, Kendra?
say that again.
I don't reply to text personally because it's for that reason.
Yes.
But if you get a text and then you go into ELP or Crew Web, you can just select yes. You don't have to go through all like the text messaging things.
Yes, there's lots of ways to answer it at least now.
Yes.
Is there a reason though? Like is that ELP portal only on the fly tab? Did I miss something?
There was a link sent out to get it on your phone, but it's not like readily available in the
App Store.
App Store. There's a
Okay.
specific way that you have to get it, and they sent out a must read, or if it wasn't a must read, it was an internal memo with exact directions on how to get the ELP app.
Because of
In the
course,
App Store, Google Play Store, whatever.
they send the must reads and then they delete them. Because I had the portal on my phone, but then I went to update, like I hadn't used it, and then I went to update it and it said it wasn't available in the App Store. So I was like,
We
okay,
can ask and see if they'll republish for that reason,
okay.
but it is available on your
on
My
your
tab.
regular phone. And also just as you know, for the reserves, you can do whatever you want. But for me, I spent 8 months on reserve and my phone did not, I never had my phone on vibrate at all. I did not trust the only these people can call and and only these, that whole thing where you just put in like your emergency phone numbers. I didn't do that. Anytime somebody text, called, a notification, whatever, because I just didn't want to risk missing anything. So for 8 months, I was woken up by rings and dings and whistles until I got online, and I haven't heard my phone since. So,
That's
just that's
right.
just my bit of advice. Just to save yourself a fact-finding meeting for a missed call or a UTC and that type of thing. That's all.
Good,
Good
good.
advice.
Yeah,
Kendra.
good advice.
Anything else?
Hmm.
Thank you for joining us today. Any other questions?
Quiet today. They're ready to go out and party for Cinco de Mayo.
Hey, ready to get on. Bring it home. All right. Any
I
other
just want
questions?
to say thank you for everything that you guys do. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Thanks for everything you do, Keegan.
Absolutely.
That came out more,
That was beautiful.
okay.
You're
Well,
good.
well, thank you, Keegan, because I
Okay.
noticed you said every call, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Guys, have any more questions? Is it going to be a quiet night? You guys are ready to go do a little Cinco de Mayo party?
Gigi, you got a question for us?
Yes, my apologies. I logged in a little late because I got off of work. I think I kind of missed most of it. Just highlight, I saw it was about rumors, and then it was another item on there I was curious about. I'm trying to go
Okay,
back
that's all
to
right.
your original slide.
The rumors
You
were
had.
about bases closing, Gigi, and there are no bases closing. Somehow rumors got started. I think Phoenix and Cincinnati were the two strongest ones. There were rumors about closures. There are once again, no closures, no base closures happening. What was the other one you thought?
Your screen that had all the objectives on it's off of here, so I don't remember. It was just any of them. I came on around the robocalls, which was near the end. I'm sorry. I guess it was another important one I saw that I was curious about.
Baggage
It was
issue.
it was under rumors. It was more important topics.
All right. We're gonna go through real quick. There you go.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
The seat map, I know we're not allowed behind their desk. Is that just highlighting that a little bit
Uh,
more about not
It
bothering
is,
them?
it is a little bit about the anger we've had at the company over this must read. We think it's divisive and we think it's not the way to handle the gate agents and the flight attendants together. But they're also looking at adding the seat map to our flight tab. It's probably a couple months out. And they're also looking at some other alternatives to get us that same information about what seats are open on the aircraft prior to us getting that seat map information.
And as always, we were just asking for more of a collaborative relationship with the gate agents and other work groups to help us do our jobs better.
Yeah.
Because when you eliminate these tools from us, it makes our jobs harder.
Unnecessarily harder. I mean, looking at someone's computer screen is the most basic, hey, what seats do we have open? And not allowing that, it causes problems that are completely, it's avoidable, absolutely avoidable. So yeah, it was a longer discussion with the company about the way that they're pitting us against the gate agents, the way they're making the two groups very divisive. But in addition to that, how unnecessary the complication is for everybody.
Okay. And the baggage issues, is it where we are putting our bags? Is that where that
It's
is?
going to check the excessive bags. And so
Okay.
they're coming up with some sort of workaround for that by letting the gate agents know how many carry-on bags are being expected, and then how many they can check ahead of time before they get onto the airplane.
Okay. And then one more, the USA pins.
Those are gonna be a yes. You can wear a USA pin
Okay,
starting
that was
immediately.
it. Okay.
And just a reminder, thanks for checking in, Gigi. We appreciate that you want to know what's going on. But just as a reminder for everyone else that just joined, if you missed any part, this will be published on our website shortly after we're finished. So
You
that
can
you can
watch the
get a
recording.
full recap.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Toy.
great.
It'll be published at some point tomorrow. Sorry.
No,
I
you're fine. I was
my
gonna defer to you for this answer and then was like, it'll be soon.
I forgot my regular communication updates. Please wear your red to recurrent, wear your red lanyards when you're flying, wear your red pins when you're flying. Also AAPI, it's Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, so wear those pins. And don't forget, social media cleanup is happening. So if you have not filled out your membership questions, please fill them out tonight. I have pinned the post on our page that shows you a step-by-step. It's just 4 easy steps. But yes, please, 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 pins, red shirts to recurrent, red shirts on your layovers, red shirts when you're deadheading, non-revving, all that.
Thanks, Toy.
Mhm.
Before I get to Liz here, I just want to say we did have another breakthrough with the company on uniforms. We've gotten a lot of complaints from everyone about our pants, our uniform pants. We finally convinced the company to take a look at some other options. We are actually going to look at those options next week sometime. But I do want to let you guys know that there might be some more options for our uniform pants coming soon. Like I said, we're just looking at samples right now, so it would take a little bit of time. But we hear you and we know that those pants, a lot of us don't work. So we're looking at some options coming forward. Ben?
Okay, Liz.
Hi, I'm sorry, I was muted.
It's okay.
Okay, hi everyone, it's Liz Peterson in Trenton. Jen, I know you said that there are no base closings scheduled. And I know we have this conversation with alarming frequency about the Trenton flying.
Yes.
Okay, so this is more, please advocate for us again in our base. June 11th would be the last available pairing that originates in Trenton for the month of June. Therefore, that base is effectively not being used, and those people that consider themselves Trenton flyers will have to fly out of Philadelphia, which again, we know that that is a huge issue for those of us that do that. Upon arrival in Philadelphia, the pairings are just terrible. And I don't mean for me personally, I mean for the base as a whole. And where are we with trying to get any type of parity among the bases with even being able to build a schedule to earn a living? Because it's currently impossible to build a full schedule. And are we anywhere with that? Thank you.
Liz, I wish I had better answers for you right now. You know that this is an ongoing battle, especially with Trenton and them doing seasonal flying in and out of Trenton where you guys don't get the pairings you need. We battled it now for, I'm going to say years, it seems like.
Years.
Yeah. And I apologize that there's not a better answer. And I really think that that is going to come down to us getting something in the contract for you, the new contract. I mean, honestly, because the language with dual bases doesn't support us in a fight to push that, to push forward on that. And I know we've had this conversation extensively. But because of the dual base language, we're very limited in what type of fighting we can do with that.
Right. I recognize that. And again, part of the frustration is it's not that the flying is not there, it's other bases are flying it built into multi-day trips, which again, don't really exist in our base or
Right.
any, or like even the dual base. I mean, it's just, and it's now we're going on years
Mm-hmm.
of substandard pairings. And I get that, you know, not every base is going to be equal. And, you know, some bases are always going to be in Punta Cana and other bases never will be. But it's so hard on our work group with the daily driving back and forth for things that do not run on time ever. And it's exhausting and mentally, like it's just because it is Mental Health Awareness Month. Let me throw that out there as well. Because Becca made me do a video. It's the emotional toll on our work group of not being able to earn a living because they can't build a productive schedule, and B, the stress of driving back and forth every day exhausted is, and I know we're just numbers to the company and they could care less whether, you know, we drive off the shoulder and end up in the trees. But it is a real thing. So I just kind of wanted to put it out there, and if we could keep it front and center.
Yeah.
And thank you. And again, thank you for everything. I know you guys aren't, you know, twiddling your thumbs. So thanks for my 2 minutes.
Thank you, Liz.
All right.
As far as the pairing equity goes, we have the pairing review, and not to create more work for your local, but while you're bidding, if you're running into struggles, or when you get your bid award, if you're, you know, things are coming out that make it difficult for you to go work, you're getting more short overnights than normal. This is the type of feedback that your scheduling committee members need to help better advocate for you, right? Because when we go in there and say, you know, everyone was denied, we've had multiple people denied down to min days off, the data doesn't always support that. So while you're doing your bid, if you're struggling to do your bid, if you're struggling to find things to put together, this is the feedback that your scheduling committee needs. And I'm saying this to you because you asked the question, but also I'm saying it to everyone on the call to start sending this information into your scheduling committees so that we can help better advocate for you and narrow the issues. Because we go in with big, broad issues, right? And our pairing review is a lot of the time whether or not it's contractually compliant and, you know, safe, and how it affects you and those things. So if you're finding it difficult to bid, if you're finding it difficult to find things to bid for, that information needs to go to your scheduling committee members so that they can help advocate for us.
Okay. Thanks, Andrew.
Yeah.
Thanks, Liz.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Nikki, you have a question?
Yes. Hi, guys. Thank you for all you do for us.
Thank
You had brought up the pants situation. The whole, I don't know, it's probably in negotiations that it might have to be brought up in, but all the prices have raised to get uniforms, period. So are they going to raise our threshold from 150, especially when it cost us pretty much $50 to get 2 items?
Absolutely, that is a contract negotiation issue. They're not just gonna give us willy-nilly free money just for fun unless we put it in the contract. It is something that we are negotiating in the next contract. So yeah, that definitely on the radar.
Awesome. And then with the whole baggage thing is, can we have them put it in writing again, because they keep changing it? Do they want us to make everybody put their backpacks underneath the seat in front of them, or do they not care anymore? Because now with this new baggage policy, it's
Right.
we
So
can't tell them to put it down, but you guys got to make room for the bags.
Yeah, I know.
So
They're a little bit a little dual conversation going on. Remember the smaller bags go under the seat. I mean, we all know that it's in the announcement that we make, and the larger bags go above. I think one of the must reads that we're probably talking about was where could the bag go up on its side instead of long ways, horizontal instead of vertical? And we said if there's room in the bins, then absolutely it could. You didn't have to check it. But you know, keep in mind the people who have their bags on the side are probably the bags that should be checked. If they didn't fit in long ways, they should be the first ones checked if we have to check anything. Backpacks should be down. People can hold their coats until we're done boarding so that they can get the coats on top of the luggage. All of those things are tools that we use as flight attendants, you know, when we're trying to fit more bags in. Do what you can, but don't offend anybody in doing it. If it's just going to be a problem for you, then check the bags that are on the floor. But asking people to take their backpacks is an ask that is very valid.
Yeah, and that's what we've been doing. It's just we get to the point I've been doing, I don't know if anybody else has been doing, but when the bins start to fill up and you know that we are like in zone 4 of boarding, by that time, you know, yesterday we had a good gate agent, and I don't remember where we were. She came in and she was like, "How are the bins looking?" And I was like, "We're good for right now. We could get a couple more bags where they didn't have to tag them." And we did have the room, but because we knew which bins had room and which bins didn't. But it's like once you get, I think, past boarding 4, even if they are zone 1, it's like, well, there's no room, and start
Right.
tagging those bags.
And
So
remember, the people who paid or got the deal to bring their bags on should all be in zone 1. So really, after zone 1, everyone else who has backpacks and jackets and stuff, that should all be going under their seat. It's the zone 1 people that actually have a legal bag to be put up. But you know,
absolutely.
we all have to play the game and we have to do what we can to get these airplanes out on time. But you don't want to, you know, you don't want to make everybody mad. You want to ask the question, can you put this backpack under? Can you hold onto your jacket until we're done boarding? I'll go ahead and put it up as soon as I get some more bags in this bin. You know, being cordial to people and at the same time trying to get our job accomplished in the best way possible.
And this is something that we've communicated to the company as well. I mean, if you really, in retrospect, look back, a lot of flight attendants haven't dealt, particularly on Frontier, we haven't been dealing with the bag issue since COVID, right? Like this is a new thing for us. So we've asked for, you know, we've asked for some more communication on how we should be handling these issues on board, because this is new to a lot of us who have joined Frontier since COVID, really.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we had bag issues like this years back, probably
20 years.
Yeah, for a long time. And then when they started charging for those overhead bins, all of a sudden there was no bags up there and we were out the door. Easy money, easy in and out of these stations. So this is just a return to something that used to happen here a lot, and it's something that happens at other airlines all the time. I'm sure if you guys fly on other airlines, you hear them say, you know, if you're in boarding group 3, 4, or 5, you might want to check your bag because we're not going to have room in the overheads. So it's not new to the industry. It's just new to us right now, and we have to navigate it again. And like I said, we're trying to get them some things in place, including having the gate agents pre-check before they come onto the airplane. If they know there's too many bags coming on, they need to take them at the gate, not on the airplane. So we're working on it.
But thank you. Kendra.
Hello, it's me again.
Hi again.
Hi again. So as far as the pants go, listen, I can wear test because this is there's no, if they fit me, you guys are gonna be fine, trust. And also just to kind of piggyback off of Liz, I love Liz so much. The issue with the bid packet in June, like I can't even, I don't even have words. I put it away. I don't even want to look at it until tomorrow when I bid and cry. But what I will say is this, one of the issues, I feel like the main issue, and it's something that will probably make each base's trips better, is the 2 a.m. thing and the duty. Because like you look at the beginning of the bid packet and it's like, oh, you know, 1-day pairings, 2-day pairings, 3-day pairings. But then you actually go in there and they're calling a turn with a duty off after midnight, a 2-day. That's
Right.
2-day. I cannot work with that. I can't make
Yeah.
money with that.
I know.
And then if I needed to drop it, I need 2 days. So
Yeah.
I'm not to bid for that. because it doesn't benefit me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Once again, those are issues that we're looking at in the new contract negotiation.
Yes, please.
Sure.
I beg. I beg. And then also, sorry, I'm over here in this Orlando layover writing things down on my key card. Um, are we checking, like you did mention, and of course I try to be very demure and mindful when I tell people to please place your backpack underneath the seat in front of you, etc. What about these long bags? Are we checking them or are we not? Because I want to check them because for me, it's like this is not a carry-on, this is a checked bag. But I don't want to upset anyone. But if the bins are full and you've got this sideways bag, like what am I, how can I work with this?
What?
And
Let-
am I talking to a gate agent? Like, why did you let this bag down? Like, I'm not really sure. And also I have seen, I don't remember where I was. I fly so much, but they are starting to do what you said. Like they're starting to check bags right at the, right as they board. Like the passengers are coming on and they're like, where do I leave my bag? And I'm like, what? And they're like, oh, they tagged it. And I was like, oh, we're starting already as soon as we're boarding begins. Yes, go ahead and put that bag right over there. So what are we doing with these long bags?
So let's do this. Let me get the company to send out a must read for you guys on this because I can tell you right now what I would do, but that's not necessarily the right answer.
Okay.
Okay. Because, we all have done this for years and we all handle the passengers the way we handle them. And we know, when things don't look right in the overhead bins, that those probably are the people that we would want to check their bags. I don't want to say, start taking bags out. I want the company to tell you that. So let me have the company come back with a must read that kind of outlines what we are supposed to do as flight attendants to make sure we're all on the same page.
Yes, because I think that's what it is. Because if I tell a passenger, hey, technically this is a checked bag because it goes on its side and, et cetera, et cetera. And then they're like, well, it was in the bin that way the last time and nobody said anything to me. So I'm just like,
Right.
okay, we're not being consistent. And I get that. Like, it just is what it is. But I'm just kind of, yes, some communication, would be nice just so I kind of know what to do. And then also, I do want to say, you had said this in the past, well, a couple minutes ago. Everyone, like if we're dealing with this bag situation, I came from another airline and you're right. The whole cabin as flight attendants kind of have to monitor the bins. And as soon as you see bins are starting to fill up, backpacks or not, if I'm the I'm kind of looking around to see like, do I have enough space? And then I'm looking at the people boarding. Are they coming off with bags? Can we make this work? Or am I going to have to be like, hey, I'm the bearer of bad news today. That bag has to go over there. So everybody kind of has to be vigilant during the boarding just to kind of make sure we don't have a situation, which I did, where there's bags all over the front galley, because we have to, start checking bags.
Agreed. Yeah, and we are also asking for a way for us to communicate with the gate agents when the bags start piling up. So there's a lot on the table that needs to change if we're going to continue to have this level of bags coming on the airplane.
Yes, imagine like in the meantime, if you need assistance and if your captain is cool, tell him, hey, can you get the gate agent and tell her to bring some tags because it's about to go down. So I guess that's something that you can do in the meantime.
Okay, perfect.
All right, friends, we have about 10 minutes left. We have 2 people left in queue. Debbie Cologne will be the last question today. So thank you all for your participation. We'll take these last 2 questions before we cut off. Joy, how are you today?
Hey, Joy Chavez here, Las Vegas base. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we sure can.
Fantastic. I just have a real quick question just to piggyback on what Toy said about wearing your red lanyards, your pins, red to recurrent. I help out with the membership engagement committee and I was handing those out, but I still run across a lot of flight attendants that want to, they don't have a red lanyard or a pin. I ran out of ones to hand out to them. Is there a way that they can get to that? Or I can get a bulk some and hand it out or?
Absolutely. So all of our local presidents have access to getting those things for you. So since you're in Las Vegas, you would want to email New and at Las Vegas at afafrontier.org. Let her know that, this is what you're hearing as requests. And she can order those for you guys to make sure you have them. And that goes for anyone in any base. You can talk to your local presidents. They have the ability to access our pins or our lanyards if we need some extras.
Okay, fantastic. I will reach out to her because I've gotten a lot of feedback where people want to show their unity and their support. So I will definitely reach out to her. Thanks for your help.
Thanks, Joy.
Debbie.
Hi guys, this is Debbie from Orlando, but I miss my
No, we're
Philly.
mad about it, Debbie. We're not talking about it. Your life choices started affecting my life choices, and now we're not
I
gonna-
know my parents come first though, but I miss my Philly. I miss it. Okay. So here's so the other day I did the inaugural flight from Dulles to LA.
Mhm.
And everybody was there with the banners and all this stuff. We get on board and I asked for 4 bags of ice. Sorry, and the gate agent said this in front of some passengers. Frontier hasn't paid for the ice. It's really embarrassing. Is there a way that, it was an inauguration flight, but some of these outstations where we're going to be flying for, 5 hours, can we get some ice from somewhere?
Yeah, absolutely.
Debbie,
And I did tell one of the guys, because they had donuts and coffee for everybody.
But
He
no
came-
ice.
And I said, hey, could you let the suits up there know that there is no ice for the next 5 hours on this grand inauguration flight? And they were like,
Debbie,
oh, okay,
did
but
you
never heard
put
from them.
in a station irregularity report when that happened?
Oh, I could do that.
Yeah,
Okay, so just do that through pro safety.
Road safety.
pro safety.
Mhm.
Anytime you guys encounter either catering issues or airplane issues or anything that's happening, they need those reports. We can go to the meetings and tell them everything's messed up out here, but if they don't hear from you guys in these reports, then it's a non-issue for them. So they need to hear you guys when there's problems.
Okay, didn't know we could use that for
Absolutely.
just the ice.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
Absolutely.
cool. That's it. I miss you.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're under the impression that the station has the stuff. So if the station is telling you that they don't,
Right.
it would be a station irregularity report.
Okay, because I was putting it in the catering.
That too.
That too.
Anywhere you can put it.
Yeah.
But Anthony doesn't respond
People
to
who have eyes
anything.
on it.
Copy
Yeah.
paste
Okay.
in more than one place,
Yeah.
probably.
Absolutely.
Okay,
All right,
sounds
guys.
good. Thanks, guys.
All right. Well, happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody. Our next negotiations update is going to be May 14th. Our next all call is June 2nd. Once again, wear your red, and we will see you guys soon. Once again, happy Cinco de Mayo. Have
Bye,
a good week.
everybody. Have a great week.
Thank you. Have a good one, guys.